Have you ever had that feeling deep in your gut at the end of a long month? You've worked hard, you've put in the hours, maybe you even got that raise you were fighting for. You open your banking app expecting to see progress. But the number staring back at you, it's just the same. Almost identical to where it was 6 months ago, maybe even a year ago. You're earning good money, you know you are, but you're not actually getting anywhere. It feels like you're on a treadmill, running faster and faster, but the scenery never ever changes.
Does this feel a little too familiar? It's a quiet frustration that so many of us live with. You see the income line on your payslip slowly climbing up, but your net worth, your actual tangible wealth, is just flat. You are, in every sense of the word, on a financial treadmill. The effort you're putting in is real, the motion is constant, but the forward progress, it's an illusion. And you might start to think, well, maybe I'm just not earning enough, or am I missing some big secret that everyone else was told? And I'm here to tell you, you are missing something, but it's not a secret, and it's not reserved for Wall Street geniuses. It's a formula, a simple one.
I want you to really look at this slide for a moment. This right here, this is the trap. On the left, that rising line is your career. It's your hard work paying off in raises and promotions. It's what you feel should be happening. But the line on the right, that's the reality for millions. It's wealth that's going nowhere. It's the reason you feel stuck. And I need you to hear this loud and clear. This is not a personal failure. You're not bad with money. It's a system failure. You're playing the game with the wrong rulebook.
Let's really dig into this, because this one idea, this can change your entire financial life. The real difference between a person earning $100,000 a year who feels broke and a person earning $50,000 who is steadily, calmly building a small fortune, it's not their income. It isn't about luck, and it isn't about being a financial wizard. It is a system, a simple, repeatable, almost boring system. It's a formula that gives every single dollar that enters your life a specific job to do the moment it arrives. There's no guesswork, there's no end-of-month stress, there's just a clear, simple path forward.
So, here's the roadmap for the rest of our time together. We've just talked about that invisible financial treadmill. Now, we're going to pull back the curtain on the formula for freedom. We'll break down each of its 3 crucial parts: the 15% future fund, the 65% essentials cap, and the 20% guilt-free fund. And most importantly, we are going to finish with your first concrete move forward, a simple step you can take the minute this is over. So let's get right to it. The formula. Some people call it the 15-65-20 rule. And I know it might sound almost too simple, but that is precisely where its power lies. True, lasting wealth isn't built on risky, complicated strategies. It's built on relentless consistency. Think of your money like ingredients for a cake. You wouldn't just start throwing random amounts of flour and sugar into a bowl and hope for the best, right? Of course not. You'd follow a recipe. These 3 numbers, this is the recipe for your financial life.
Let's start with the first and arguably the most important number in the entire formula, 15%. I want you to let that sink in, 15%. This is the cornerstone. This is the foundation upon which your entire financial house is built. Before you pay your rent, before you buy your groceries, before you even think about buying a cup of coffee, this portion of your income is moved aside. It is sacred. Its purpose is singular and absolutely non-negotiable: to go to work for the most important person in your life, the future version of you.
Now for the second number, 65%. This is your life today. This is your rent or your mortgage, your transportation, your utilities, your food. These are your essentials. But it's not just a number, it's a boundary, it's a hard cap. Think of it as the defensive line on a football team. Its job is to protect your ability to save and invest, to protect it from the single biggest enemy of wealth building, a silent killer that we're going to expose in just a minute. And finally, the third number, 20%. Now, this might be the most surprising part of the whole system, and psychologically, it may be the most critical. This is your permission slip. This is your designated fund to enjoy the life you are working so hard for fun, for travel, for hobbies, for going out with friends. This is the component that makes the entire system sustainable, not for a month, not for a year, but for a lifetime. So there they are, 15, 65, 20. Now let's explore what each of these really means for you. We begin with the 15% future fund, and we start here for a very specific reason. It represents a profound mindset shift. See, most of us are taught to live life in this order. We earn money, we pay all of our bills and expenses, and then we just hope there's a little bit left over to save. This formula completely flips that upside down. It says you pay the most important person first.
And that person is the you that will exist in 10, 20, or 30 years. This money is taken off the top automatically before you can ever touch it. It protects your future from your present.
Now, this 15% isn't just one big pile of money. It actually has two very distinct, very critical jobs to do. First, its job is to build your financial safety net. Because look, life is going to throw curveballs at you. The car's transmission will fail. A surprise medical bill will show up in the mail. Without this fund, those events are 5-alarm emergencies that force you into a state of panic, reaching for high-interest credit cards and digging yourself into a deeper hole. But with this fund, those same events become manageable inconveniences. They're annoying, sure, but you handle it and you move on. You get to sleep at night. That peace of mind is priceless. And second, this is where the real magic happens. This fund becomes your wealth-building engine. This is the money that doesn't just sit there. This is the money you put to work.
And the fuel that makes that engine run is a force so powerful, Albert Einstein supposedly called it the 8th wonder of the world: compound interest. You've probably heard the term, but have you ever stopped to truly appreciate its unbelievable power? It's simply what happens when your money earns a return, and then those returns start earning their own returns. It creates a snowball effect. Imagine a tiny snowball at the top of a very, very long hill. At first, its growth is almost invisible, but as it rolls, it picks up more snow, getting bigger, faster, until it becomes an unstoppable avalanche of wealth. But here is the secret that most people miss. They think the most important ingredient for compounding is having a lot of money to start with. It's not. The single most important ingredient is time.
This slide illustrates the brutal, almost unfair power of time. Let's look at the story of Sarah and James. At age 30, Sarah manages to invest a single one-time amount of $10,000. That's it. She never adds another penny. Her friend James, on the other hand, waits. He doesn't invest anything in his 30s. Then, at age 40, James gets serious. He starts investing $2,000 every single year, like clockwork. Now, fast forward to age 50. James has invested a total of $20,000 of his own money, double what Sarah put in. But look at the results. Sarah, who invested half as much, now has $32,000. James, who invested double, only has $28,000. How is that possible? Sarah won. She won by a lot. And she won for only one reason. She gave her money an extra 10 years to work. That is the incredible power you are putting on your side with your 15% fund starting right now.
So the big question is, where does this 15% actually go? It doesn't just sit in a normal savings account earning nothing. The wealthy are smart about this. First, they maximize any tax-advantaged accounts available to them. If your job offers a retirement plan like a 401k and they offer to match your contributions, that is your first stop. No exceptions. A company match is literally free money. It's an immediate 100% return on your investment before it even does anything. Not taking that is like telling your boss to keep part of your salary. After that, you look into accounts like an IRA in the United States or an ISA in the United Kingdom. Special accounts that let your money grow without the drag of taxes slowing it down. And what do you buy inside these accounts? Here's the secret. You keep it boring. While everyone else is chasing hot stock tips and trying to find the next big thing, you calmly and consistently buy simple, low-fee, diversified index funds. You're not trying to pick one winning horse. You're buying a tiny piece of every horse in the race. You are betting on the long-term growth of the entire economy, which has historically been the safest and most powerful bet in the entire world. Remember, consistency beats complexity every single time. Okay, let's move to the second pillar of our formula, the 65% essentials cap. If the 15% fund is your offense, the part that builds your wealth, then this 65% cap is your defense. And this is where most financial plans live or die. Because this part of the formula is your main weapon against the silent income killer, the single biggest threat to your financial future. And it's something that affects every single one of us. It has a name. It's called lifestyle inflation. And you know exactly what this is, even if you've never heard the term. You get a promotion, a nice raise. And what happens? Almost unconsciously, your apartment starts to feel a little too cramped. Your perfectly good car suddenly seems a bit old. The weekly pizza night that used to be a treat slowly becomes ordering takeout 3 times a week. It happens so quietly, you don't even notice. But before you know it, you're earning $10,000 more a year, but you feel just as broke as you did before. Your expenses have silently expanded to consume every new dollar that came in. The 65% cap is like building a dam. It stops that flood. It forces you to be intentional, to make conscious choices about what is truly an essential expense, your housing, your food, your utilities, and what is simply a lifestyle upgrade. Let's look at a powerful, real-world example of how just one decision within this 65% category can radically alter your future.
let's talk about transportation. The average new car payment in America has now climbed to over $700 a month. Let's use $725 for our example. Now, you have a choice. You could instead buy a perfectly reliable, safe, 3-year-old used car for a payment of around $300. The difference is $425 every single month. Now, that might not sound like a life-changing amount of money, but what if you took that $425 difference and automatically invested it into your 15% future fund? Over 10 years, assuming very average market returns, that single decision, the decision to drive a nice used car instead of a brand new one, would add over $60,000 to your net worth. Suddenly, that new car smell doesn't seem quite so appealing, does it? That is the power of controlling your 65%. And that brings us to the final and I think the most revolutionary piece of this entire puzzle, the 20% guilt-free fund. After you have paid your future self and after you have covered your essentials, this money is set aside for one reason and one reason only, to be enjoyed. This is not leftover money, this is not an accident, it is a deliberate, planned, and crucial allocation for your hobbies, for travel, for entertainment, for whatever brings you joy and makes life worth living. So why? Why is this fun money so critically important? It all comes down to one simple word: psychology. Building wealth is a marathon, not a sprint. It takes years, decades even. A financial plan that demands you deprive yourself of every single pleasure in life, that's like an impossibly strict diet of nothing but steamed broccoli. Sure, you might be able to stick to it for a few weeks, maybe even a few months when your motivation is sky high. But eventually, you're gonna crack, you're gonna burn out. You'll grow to resent the very process that's supposed to be setting you free, and you'll abandon the plan entirely. The 20% fund is the cure for that. It's the built-in release valve. It gives you permission to spend money without an ounce of guilt because you know your future is already taken care of. It makes the entire system sustainable. Paradoxically, giving yourself permission to spend is what guarantees you'll keep saving for the long run. Let's put it all together now and see the profound difference this system makes over time. Let's meet two people, Poor Peter and Rich Richard. They're both 30 years old. They both work at the same company, and they both earn the exact same income, $70,000 a year. Peter doesn't have a system. He just wings it. He tries to save when he can, maybe 5% one month, 0 the next. His lifestyle inflates to meet his income. By the time he's 40, after 10 years of working hard, he might have scraped together about $15,000 in savings, and he's constantly stressed about money. Now let's look at Richard. From day one, he uses the 15-50-50-20 system. His 15%, which is $10,500 a year, is automatically invested. He lives comfortably on his 65% and enjoys his 20% guilt-free. After the exact same 10 years earning the exact same income, Richard has around $140,000 working for him. His stress level is low, he has options, he has security. What was the difference? It wasn't how much they earned, it wasn't luck, it was the system. Okay, I know what some of you are probably thinking right now. This all sounds great, but my expenses are already way over 65% of my income. Saving 15% feels completely impossible right now. And you know what? That's okay. That's a totally normal place to be. A complete financial transformation doesn't happen in a single day. The goal isn't to be perfect starting tomorrow. The goal is to simply start. The goal is to make one small, slightly better decision today and then build on it tomorrow and the day after that. It's about building the muscle of consistency over time.
So let's make this incredibly simple. Here is your first move forward. 3 tiny steps you can take the moment this is over. Step 1, just do the math. Take out your phone's calculator and figure out what 15%, 65%, and 20% of your current monthly take-home pay actually is. Don't judge the numbers, just look at them. Step 2, if 15% feels like a mountain, start with 5%. If that feels like too much, start with 2%. Log into your online banking right now and set up one automatic transfer for that small amount, from your main checking account to a separate savings account. Automate it. The habit is infinitely more important than the amount at the beginning. And step 3, just track your spending for 1 week. Use an app, a notebook, whatever. Don't try to change anything. Just be a scientist and observe. See where your money is actually going. Knowledge is always the first step towards control.
And that really is where we leave it. The system is simple. The math is undeniable. The only variable left in the equation is you. 10 years from now, 20 years from now, a future version of you is going to look back on this exact moment. That person will either be profoundly grateful that you took that first, small, simple step, or they will be filled with a quiet regret, wondering, why did I wait so long to start? The choice you make in the next hour will determine which of those futures becomes your reality. Thanks for tuning in to Silent Wealth.
If you found value in today's content, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on the latest tips and strategies to grow your wealth.